they came for the writers. But I didn't speak up because I was not a writer. Then they came for the students. But I didn't speak up because I was not a student. Then they came for musicians. But I didn't speak up because I was not a musician. And then they came for the Greens, the Muslims, the trade unionists, Christians, and the Jews, the travelers, the homosexuals, the journalists, the artists, the taggers, the doctors, the philosophers, the economists, the anarchists and the politicians, the nerds, the Europeans, the Americans, the communists, the hackers, illegals, the homeless. And I didn't speak up because I wasn't any of them. Any of them. And then they came for me. And there was no one left to speak up for me.
Let's start here. Okay.
We can do it. Yes, we can. We can change things throughout the land.
I'm as mad as hell.
But we all
I'm not
must
gonna take this anymore.
lend a hand. We can do it. Oh, yes, we can. Oh, your neighbor over there, a bit bewildered, but he cares. He just doesn't know what to do. Join together and then they'll be two. There are others all around, scattered throughout the town. Reach out and you will see your numbers swell to 3. We can do it. Yes, we can. We can change things throughout the land, but we all must lend a hand. We can do it, oh yes we can. Now together you form a core, and you're eager to find some more. You start knocking on other doors, and before long you're up to 4. As your numbers begin to grow, you're expanding what you know. You're a movement when you reach 5, and now watched by the FBI. We can do it, yes we can. We can change things throughout the land, but we all must lend a hand. We can do it, oh yes we can. You may ask, what can one do when the problems seem so huge? Start to learn, work my friends, keep your eyes on the prize to the end.
Yes, keep your eye on the prize till the end. Are we coming to the end here? Flipping us on the 14th of April. We're supposed to have a blood moon and all kinds of things that are happening in the world that might be happening to affect you and me. And so anyway, could this be the end? And we're at the eve of destruction here or something. Anyway, I'm very happy to welcome a special guest to my show. I have on Skype, I have Mr. Trent Goodbaudy, and he's quite a gentleman here. And so I thought I'd say hi, Trent.
Hi, everybody.
Now,
how's it going?
Well, I think it's going well. I'm Donald Gron, and I've been hosting this show for about 8 years, and I'm really happy to be doing it. And Trent, you've been pretty active yourself, haven't you, for quite a while?
Yes, I've been out there stirring things up.
You have? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you're the kind of guy that probably could throw some weight around
Yeah.
and make some action. In fact, why don't I start off by showing a bit of that here, and I'm going to show a little clip of what kind of things you've done here. Okay, so let me do that, and then we'll talk. So you want to introduce this, or should we just go for it?
Yeah, it's just a video I shot. My sister called me one day and told me the police were at her house, and I said, "Well, do you need me to come over?" So I didn't have any shoes on. I just jumped on my bike and rode over there, and this is what happened.
Okay, here we go. If I can get to it here, there we go. You can comment on it if you want.
Yeah, it speaks for itself.
There's some sound here. Where's the sound at? Uh-oh, I don't have the sound.
Oh,
Freedom shirt on.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, I hear it now. I don't know if we lost much there. You're just riding along on a bicycle to your sister's house? Because
Yeah.
that's about a mile away or so? Or?
Well, it was actually just a few blocks away. I've got a lot of comments on there that I was out of breath and stuff, but man, if your adrenaline was going like mine was, you would be out of breath too, especially if you knew what you were about to go do. Intercepting the police, and making them buzz off. So
That's what you're going to do, huh? You think you got that much weight to throw that around there?
Yeah, and they have guns. I didn't even bring a gun. So
What's going on? Well, where's your warrant? If you had probable cause, you would have talked to a judge and got a warrant like you're supposed to. Who are you? That means nothing to me. You know what? People wear costumes all the time. Where's your business card? What's your name? What's your number? Badge number. Badge number. What is an identifying number that we can file the lawsuit, that we can use to file the lawsuit? I'll just say unknown. It's fine. And we'll find out in discovery. Why are you harassing these people here? Did you read the notice on the door? Did you read the notice? You need a warrant. You're violating Section 241 right there. Title 18 United States Code. You know what that is?
Conspiracy.
You don't know the law? Go to a judge. They are the ones that issue warrants based on probable cause determinations. I don't know what you're talking about. We're not getting into that. We're talking about lawsuits. Section 241, United States Code.
Goodbye, Trent.
Have a nice evening.
Goodbye, Trent.
So,
I need to know your names. I'm going to be calling your sergeant.
I just kind of
you.
told
Do you
them,
have a
use
phone number?
their
How about a
own
business card?
words, their own laws against them.
no.
I did.
You want to identify yourself? You guys are clowns. God. Corporate fuckheads.
Uh-oh. Didn't quite bleep that out.
Streaming live.
Okay.
Cool?
Oh, well, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a little thing there at the end. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Should I stop it here, or want to take it to the very end where you have your final?
Cut that out. You can cut out from where they walk away. You
Okay.
can cut everything past that out if you want, yeah.
Okay. Let's go back to you then. Okay. Let's get back to you here. Go for it. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. There we go. Go for it. Anything you want to add now?
Just basically that, this is, we don't know our power. We don't even know who we are, really. Most of us just get our reality from TV, and we need to stand up, or else we're not going to have anywhere to stand.
That's right. And sort of my theme song is that we can do it, yes we can, and we can change things throughout the land. And so I sort of like that theme song here. And
Yeah.
so that would be good one to have here, and we're gathering people. And I think we did something. People out there did something that was pretty tremendous down in Nevada here with the BLM, standing up to the BLM. Now that I don't know that it's going to be over, but I think it's at least we stood up, and this chapter looks like it is one that this battle is on. We're the winners on this one, and so if we get together and stand up and do things, there is possibilities that we can set this country right and have it be accountable to the law and the Constitution and things. And I think that's where we're supposed to be, right?
Definitely. Yeah. So. And someone asked me before what I think about the Constitution, and what I said is, it doesn't apply to me.
That's true, because
the government has enumerated these rights and put them on a piece of paper. And these are rights not that the government gave us, but they're rights that we all
have from God. Yeah.
From the beginning, yes. They're inherent. So
unalienable. They can't be leaned. They can't be taken away. They can't be restricted.
Yeah.
It
can't be changed.
Like free speech can't be put into an area, right?
Yeah, and your freedom of liberty can't be restricted without a violation of that as well.
Yeah. So freedom is freedom, and if you try to say this is a free speech zone, that's not freedom, folks. I don't know. The government people don't seem to get that kind of thing. Yeah.
But the one important thing I want to mention about the Constitution is that it is applicable to everyone who has sworn an oath to uphold it. They need to be bound by that. And
really?
Every judge, every agent of government basically has sworn an oath to uphold this Constitution. That's what's supposed to hold our country together.
Yeah.
And they aren't my. It's not. I didn't sign the Constitution. I have nothing to do with it. But they need to, recognize that these are rights that every man and woman has inherent.
No, that's just. But that's not the Constitution itself. But that's the amendments to the Constitution. The Constitution is really a business operation for the states to a central hub to do commerce and things. And nothing in the Constitution, I may say, that talks about God or anything else in there. That's the Declaration of Independence, where their inherent rights are essentially conceived or not conceived. Are delineated a bit there, and then they're put into the amendments because. When they did the Constitution, they forgot to put those amendments in there. They didn't give anything to the people. They didn't give anything to the people. It was all for commerce and getting this three-part government set up and things. So I think that's important there. But and the Constitution is really put out by we the people, and it says we the people, capital P people. That's special people of the United States. That's what it says there. If I can show that on Elmo here, and so. And we the people of the United States, if you read the bottom there, it says, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. There's two things in there, the United States and the United States of America. Are those two different entities, Trent?
Well, I would imagine one of them is probably a corporation.
Yeah, that's it.
And we're the landmass.
Bingo. We the capital P people of the United States Corporation.
Yeah.
The ones that are doing business here do ordain and establish this Constitution for the business that's being done in the whole area of the United States of America, and essentially the people that they're in are not really they're small people, and they're not brought up until they're forced to have an amendment, 10 amendments. And by the way, if you read the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, that the book that's a guideline for something called the courts throughout the land, there's a certain way of writing, so if you know about language and things that are put in brackets do not really apply there. And so there's about 12 things right off the bat in there. From Article 1 to Article 12, they're in brackets, so they don't apply in court, Trent. Look at that. So that's the reason that they can get away with stomping on your rights in court oftentimes, because they're in brackets. They're outside that court. And
and people not knowing who they are.
That's it.
Yeah, because who created government? We didn't. Government did not create us. And there's a maximum of law that you can only control what you create.
That's right.
So what was created? What did the government create is the question.
So did they create something? Actually, what we created was giving them the power to create a government to do what? To serve us.
Yeah.
Right? Are they serving us like in like Nevada or other places? I mean, or even just general daytime, day-to-day things? Looks like they're trying to.
Served, all right.
They're getting served, yeah, they're getting served all right. And it's not. They're getting served up on a platter to the money powers. That's where the. Because we are under the golden rule, and that golden rule is them that's got the gold makes the rules.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's been, that's the way it's trying to be, and that's the powers that be, the elite, are really trying to hammer it all home. And how are they doing it? By fomenting aggravation and things between peoples and wars from Ukraine and Nevada and other places.
Just keep us fighting. Keep us at war.
Yeah, that's right.
Keep
us in fear.
Pull over our eyes. We won't know.
That's right, yeah. So,
but, there's lots of us that are out here waking up, to the corruption and just the whole system itself.
Yeah.
And actually, when 9/11 happened, I knew that something bigger was actually really something bigger than what they were telling us.
That got my blood boiling. I saw the buildings go down and say, no way did a plane do that. That's crazy.
Well, that sent me into a spiral where I just did nothing but study and research. And found out just how deep the rabbit hole really goes. And
does it go on and on and on?
It goes pretty deep, I'll tell you that. And we have been hoodwinked like nobody, like you wouldn't even imagine.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, well, anyway, what else do you want to go for here?
Well, I don't know. I guess I could tell you a little bit about myself.
Sure.
Well, after 9/11, I went into this fit of just trying to figure out what was really going on, the bigger picture of everything. And and I had been doing that for years until the government or the police came knocking on my door one day in 2005. And they busted in the door and came and put handcuffs on me and arrested me and tased me and pushed me down the stairs and told me that I was resisting. All for a debt that they said that I owed them. So that was when I decided to focus on law enforcement itself, and not that I hadn't been doing that for years. I have a video on my YouTube channel from 13 years ago where I was exercising my rights, and I didn't know hardly any of the stuff I know today.
No.
But I didn't consent, and that's the key. We are governed by our consent, by our own consent, believe it or not.
That's right.
We have nothing to fear if we are able to govern ourselves. Actually, the guns and the handcuffs and the jails, it's hard, but that's how we're controlled. We're controlled through our fear. And you have to get over that to be able to even start thinking about being free.
That's right. Yeah.
But anyway, and then after that situation in 2005, I was really focused on the legal system and just wondering what I could do to start, making a change. And then in 2011, I went to a workshop with some of my good clients in Florida. They do Go for No. It's a sales thing, but they're authors, and they told me that if I had something I needed people to know about, that I needed to write a book. And so 4 days after that, I had my first book written, 44,000 words. And
you wrote a book in 4 days?
Yeah, 4 days. And it was called Answers to 20 of Life's Toughest Questions.
Oh, boy.
So it had to do with, what is spirituality? And just, basically answering all of the questions that I could think of that people ponder upon their entire lives, and most people don't even ever find the answers to. So I wrote that in 4 days, and I published that myself. And then a couple months after that, I wrote, that was this book here. You don't want to read. I changed the title. It was called Answers to 20 of Life's Toughest Questions.
Put it for page.
But I changed it to You Don't Want to Read What This Man Has to Say, because it's a little more, causing maybe helping people want to read it by reverse psychology or something.
Yeah. Oh, I put up on my shows, Always Pursuing Truth. I put up a little thing there that says, "A warning: do not watch this channel now unless you can handle the truth." And so, that's pretty awesome, and it's serious, folks. I mean, I get some heavy stuff on that show, and I have scared people away from that show who tried to watch it. So, truth can be frightening at times, but it's well worth the trying to pursue it here. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I just put out a few clips about Boston on the screen here. So that was interesting because the anniversary of the Boston Marathon is happening right now. So you want to remember that and remember the truth about that and things they don't want you to ask about the Boston. But we've got to ask those tough questions to get the right answers here. So,
Yeah. Well, they want us. They want us to just follow like sheep into their plan, and a lot of these orchestrated events are just that. They're catalysts to get us to react.
That's right. Yeah.
Or to pass new legislation to react. And I think that one was one of the big. Didn't they lock down Boston or something for? I don't know. They were searching people's houses and all kinds of crazy stuff. So.
Yeah. Right. So, okay. Anyway, go ahead. What else do?
Yeah. Anyway, I wrote that first book, and not a big deal, really. I didn't write it for anybody. I wrote it for myself, really, and for anybody that was interested. But then I wrote this one.
Oh.
And
okay. Hang on. What's it called? Oh yeah, freedom.
This was called "Freedom from Government: How to Reclaim Your Power."
Well, let me see. Freedom from government. Well, how are we going to be able to have that here? Because essentially, don't we have to have government? Didn't we create government to help us and things? So we're trying to create. I mean, and we need to have regulations to keep all the people making those golden rules from enforcing those rules down our throats and extorting us. And Monsanto and other things like this are corporations. Started off having a 20-year charter that had to be for the good of the people in order for them to renew their charter. And look what's happened now. They get endless things worldwide, and they control countries now.
The government was created to govern those who cannot govern themselves.
Okay, that's about right.
So if you can govern yourself, you have no need for an external government.
Mm-hmm.
I think the government was actually created for people that wanted to be irresponsible.
Yeah. How about that?
And it's a kind of a hard fact, but it's true. And that's what they're there. That's that's what they do best. They change people.
Yeah. Right.
Change their actions anyway.
Yeah. Oh, good. So, but that's a concept, though. I mean. Your concept of having the government being free from the government, I mean, that's one that a lot of people are going to have a hard time grasping. So maybe any other explanation about it? I mean, you say it's for people that need control. I guess that's people who have committed offenses that all these statutes and things are out there for.
Basically, but like in the first few sentences of this book.
Okay, you want to read them?
I say that. Yeah, what? Go ahead.
Did you want to read it?
No, I just say that freedom depends on being responsible. And that's what it's all about. It's all about personal responsibility.
Really? I mean, you're not free to go and do things and offend people and be gross and stuff. You're supposed to be responsible to be free. That's the definition of true freedom.
How many laws are on the books?
At least 7. Maybe 7,000. I don't know, 70,000.
Yeah, and I think the average person commits 3 felonies a day or something without even knowing it.
Yeah.
But what I would say to that is that I only have 2 laws that I follow.
2.
That's it.
I can probably handle 2. Can you give them to me? You know what they are?
I do no harm to anyone else.
Oh.
And I do not do fraud in my contracts.
Well, those are pretty good. Yeah,
That's it.
So you're being open and honest and peaceful.
Yeah.
How about that? That sounds like something anybody could do. So.
And you know what? I'm going to challenge everybody out there right now that if you have a driver's license, you need to really do some research and find out if you're not acting in fraud by having that license.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How can there be fraud with this license to permit to drive safely?
Well, the law or the government has defined certain terms like driver, motor vehicle, transport. All these terms have a commercial connotation to them. So
Absolutely.
if you're not on the roads transporting cargo or persons for hire or for compensation, guess what? You don't need a driver's license. You were born with the inherent right to liberty.
Mm-hmm. How about that?
And I know that's hard for a lot of people to swallow because we've been in this system for a long time. Everybody has licenses and everybody has their cars registered and plates. But I sell these plates now.
Oh, okay. Hang on a second here. Hang on. Let me get over here. Hang on. Okay. Go for it. See.
I sell these plates, and they have some very specific wording on them.
Private property, not for hire, not for commercial, for non-commercial use only. Take heed of your actions this day. What does it say on the top yellow?
The top yellow here says, the right of the citizen to travel upon the public highways and to transport his property thereon, either by carriage or by automobile, is not a mere privilege which a city may prohibit or permit at will, but a common right which he has under the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that's actual case law, Thompson versus Smith. So,
and where's the origin of that kind of concept? Anyway, where did they ever come up? Where did they ever come up with that kind of thing? I mean, could be something like the Declaration and things like this. And so, how about that? So, and does that still hold in this modern time? Those kind of concepts are ancient, aren't they? I mean, back in 1871, they had the only one law they had about traffic. There was just they only had one traffic law, and that was keep to the right, which is probably the best advice. Yield to the right and be on the right. That's the only traffic law. That's the actual law. And from that, they've developed all the statutory codes and things that are of quite a volume.
Yeah.
So,
and I would say that if you're just leisurely traveling or moving your own stuff on the road, you have the right to do that. You can do that without having a license, without having a registered car. You can have any kind of conveyance you want to move about.
Talking about public right of way, public, that's good. So that's
I would
wonderful.
say though that if you're privately profiting off the highways, you need to have all that stuff.
Amen. I agree with that. That's for sure. Yeah.
And that's why the driver's license was originally created, because truck drivers and other kinds of commercial drivers would do hit and runs and you wouldn't be able to find them, and all kinds of crazy stuff. So but it was never intended to turn our right to liberty into a privilege.
Right. So, and let's see now. We have up here in Washington. You're down in Portland, Hillsboro, I guess. Up here in Washington, we have the RCWs, and RCW 46 is the motor vehicle code.
Yeah.
And what is a motor vehicle? Do you know how a motor vehicle is defined and what a motor is? Does your car have a motor, or does it have an engine?
Exactly, yeah. I was going to say a motor is electrically powered.
An
engine is an ingenious device, which means it has several components that work together to provide propulsion.
Yeah, and that is what they had. The first cars, folks, were electric, weren't they? And had big batteries and things, and a lot of weights in order to propel you. And so they had to regulate these things because they were doing damage to the roads that were not very well made in those days. And so they had to regulate that. But now automobiles have got engines in them, and you're doing private travel instead of commercial driving. So there is a difference, isn't there?
If you think that you are, oh no, we can't let people drive or travel on these roads because they're going to cause potholes, and so they don't pay for the upkeep. But you know what? We do pay for the upkeep every time we buy a gallon of gas. So the roads are paid for by everybody.
Yeah.
Equally. So.
Okay. Anyway, here we go. Yeah. Okay. Very good. That sounds interesting. So let's see. We want to so we're wrapping this up here. I just started checking see what you want to have on excuse me, I'm doing 3 things at once. What would be your take-home message that you have here?
Well, I would say, everybody out there needs to not just accept beliefs right. on their face value. They need to research every closely held belief they have.
Yeah, right.
And if the research and the information takes you in a different direction, don't be scared to follow it, and don't ever be scared to stand up for your rights.
Right.
Because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Amen. That's for sure. Okay. Well, I really want to thank you for coming on the show, Trent. I think it's been
absolutely
been a good for our audience, and hopefully it's good for you too. So, and I think there's a lot to be learned, and so you can go to his website here, Freedom from Government. It's got a lot of stuff on there, and those license plates and other things you can do, and learn about the law and stand up, wake up, and go forth here. So
yeah, I have a free book also on my website.
Oh,
anybody can download it. You don't have to sign up or nothing. It's free, and it teaches you how to deal with any kind of law enforcement, lawyers, judges, clerks, bailiffs, or any other kind of individual that wants to cause you harm without knowing how to file lawsuits or paperwork. Or it's free, so you have no excuse.
But the title says acting with honor as a king, right?
Yeah.
So are we really a king? Are we in charge of our lives, or are we subservient to the rulers, the golden rulers here?
Yeah.
And how do we act in honor when we're being oppressed? So I guess it's probably a good read to have here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, I will look forward to getting on your website and having people share things. And of course, our show is on YouTube as well as on Seattle Community Media, so that people can get in touch with you. And you're on Facebook too.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all that. I really appreciate you having me on as well. Thank you.
Okay, very fine. We're going to go now see what kind of things government is doing as far as killing people. So how about let's just do that and have a little different thing here. Okay, thank you again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see, it should play here.
Recently, Amnesty International released its annual report into executions around the world in 2013, and the number of people killed was up 15% from the figure in 2012. But those are only the ones that are officially recorded and that we definitely know about. There were at least 22 countries that executed people in 2013, but that list does not include Syria, where both government forces and opposition groups have carried out extrajudicial killings. And Egypt is also left out because of a lack of reliable information. Vietnam, Kuwait, Nigeria and Indonesia all resumed executions in 2013. The recorded methods of execution were lethal injection, shooting and hanging, which were used in various countries. Electrocution was employed by the USA alone, and Saudi Arabia was the only state to use beheading as a method of execution. 3 countries killed people under the age of 18. That's Iran, Yemen and Saudi Arabia, and that breaks international law. And at least 1,925 people were sentenced to death across 57 countries, up from 1,722 last year. But there has been some progress. The United Arab Emirates, Pakistan, Belarus and Gambia all managed not to execute anybody last year. But these were the countries on the list of 22 nations that did carry out executions. Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Botswana, India, Indonesia, Japan, Kuwait, Malaysia, Nigeria, North Korea, the Palestinian Authority, Somalia, South Sudan, Sudan and Taiwan. But the list of the 5 worst executioners had a very familiar feel. The US put 39 people to death, 4 fewer than in 2012, but it was still the 5th place country in the league table. The US has been having problems sourcing the drugs required to carry out a lethal injection after European companies refused to sell them to be used for the state killings. 41% of the executions took place in Texas, but Maryland became the 18th state to abolish the death penalty. The US was also the only country in the Americas to execute anyone. Saudi Arabia officially killed 79, the same number as the previous year, but 3 of the people killed were juveniles, which is illegal under international law, and the real number may be higher. Iraq was third with 169, an increase of 40 on 2012's number, with most of the killings carried out under anti-terrorism laws that have been described as vague. It's the 3rd year in a row that executions in Iraq have increased. In Iran, there were 369 official executions, although the actual number is thought to be much higher, closer to 700, with some killings taking place in secret. But top of the pile, once again, was China. The Chinese state is thought to have executed more people than the rest of the world combined. The actual number is believed to be thousands, but it is a closely guarded state secret, and so a real estimate is almost impossible. So how many people were killed by their governments in judicial executions in 2013? Remember that this number doesn't include the thousands of people killed in China, nor does it include a realistic estimate for the number in North Korea, nor does it include Syria at all, or the secret killings carried out in Iran. The total number of people killed in judicial executions in 2013 was 778, up from 682 the year before.
Okay, hang on a second here. I'm going to do on camera 4 here. Okay, oh, hang on a second here. Okay. Oh, it's not on yet. Excuse me. There we go. Next clip is about be aggressive or be eaten. I was going to do something else here.
We're here at Big Bend National Park, and everywhere
you got to stand up for yourself.
Lessons
you got to stand up
that are applicable in Mother Nature, but also in human interactions with bullies. And when I'm talking about bullies, I'm talking about government itself, historically the biggest bully and the largest danger to human populations. Of course, the University of Hawaii did a big study about it a decade or so ago, finding that government conservatively killed in non-military related deaths 262 million people in the 20th century. And government is already online in the 21st century to break that record. Now, what does that have to do with Big Bend? I'll tell you right now. Look at this. Lion warning. A lion has been frequenting this area and could be aggressive towards humans. If you see a lion, pick up small children. Stand together, appear large. Wave arms, shout aggressively. Throw stones or sticks. Report sightings to a ranger. Do not show fear, crouch down, run away. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. When humans act aggressive and defend their private property and are armed, predators, whether they're bullies or mountain lions, whatever the case is, don't come after you. When you grovel, like to the TSA, and bow down, and someone in a uniform becomes God, that's the essence of North Korea, the essence of Mexico, the essence of tyranny.
A TSA agent was arrested on January 3rd and was behaving erratically, saying, "I am God, I'm in charge."
And so the answer is to be basically a noble savage who's into science and technology and is informed, but at the same time retains your human instinct to not be a prey animal, but to quite frankly be a predator. That's what's happening is subgroups of humans in government are engaged in predator activity on us. That's called tyranny. We're supposed to form family units, cultural units that defend each other and build a better civilization based on Renaissance, art, literature, not based on the rule of the thug. So next time tyrants are in your face, don't show fear, don't crouch down and lick the hand that feeds you. Don't bow down, don't run away. Stand up, stand together as communities. That's why they're destroying families. That's why they're playing men and women off against each other. That is the plan. So come together, folks. Unity. Unity for the basic Bill of Rights and Constitution. Alex Jones signing off for Infowars.com. We're going to go back to a report from a year ago that David Knight filed, similar to this one, pointing out the correlation to bears and how you should behave around them.
Can you bear this? Another interesting here. Okay.
I'm David Knight, reporting for Infowars Nightly News. Just before I left for Austin, I took my family to the Smoky Mountains. Now, long before the Europeans named it the Smoky Mountains, the Cherokee had a name for it, and if I pronounce it correctly, it's something like Shakonoquay, which means place of the fine particulate smog. No, not actually. That's what the EPA wants you to think. I was surprised to see this graphic on the EPA's site where they explain what PM 2.5 is. They use the Smoky Mountains as a poster child. Is it really PM 2.5 and man-made smog that makes the Smoky Mountains smoky? No. We all know that it isn't, but we see this kind of thing done over and over again, like they did with polar bears on ice floes. Remember that? And of course, Al Gore is telling us that the oceans are rising, but he builds his $9 million mansion in Montecito, California, right on the ocean side. So I don't think he believes that either. But they use these subliminal messages to try to convince us, and they can be quite effective. And speaking of bears, every visitor to the Smoky Mountains gets a handout that looks like this, warning you about black bears. As my wife was reading that to the small children, I started thinking a lot of the stuff they were saying about bears could be said about government, especially about the EPA. Let me just read a few things here. With aggressive behavior, the bear, the EPA, is demanding more space. If the bear or EPA continues to follow you, stand your ground. If the EPA gets closer, talk louder or shout at it. Act aggressively. Act together as a group if you have companions. Make yourself look as large as possible. Don't run, don't turn away, and don't feed the EPA. It only encourages further problems. David Knight, for Infowars Nightly News.
Celebrate the spirit of freedom and liberty upon which our nation was founded at InfoWarsShop.com. Molan Lave.
No, okay. Anyway, let's get back over here. And I have something I wanted to share with you real quickly. By the way, I got in the mail last week, I got a surprise. Somebody sent me a book, and it's called, oh boy, uh-oh. Oh, great. Looks like my computer's gone down here. So anyway, hang on. Anyway, sent me the book, The Roots of Christianity here. And so that's interesting. And it's from a friend of mine from years ago, Michael Helfrich is his name. And I don't have a screen I can see here. I have to look all the way over there. So anyway, it's quite interesting, and I'll just say that I was quite impressed and to get a book, a surprise book. I mean, it's sort of nice. And then it turns out that he wrote on the second paragraph here or something about a friend of mine has a favorite saying that I will adhere to. It says, always pursue truth unless something better comes along. I guess you can see that, okay. And well, that's my saying, and I've known Mike for a long time. And I guess I inspired him to write this book about the root of Christianity, which is a good book and great. So anyway, I'm going to go now over, see if I can go over, if I can change it. Oh, I guess I can't go over to where I want to go. Oh, great. Hang on a second. I can't flip over to this channel here. I can't go over here, can I? I've got to be on the, I got to be on, can I go over to here? Oh no, I'm on Elmo. I'm going to have to stop the show here and do something else because I can't go over to